LA Chargers. Welcome back to LA, Stephen A. This is First Take.
I like that. I like that a lot, especially since I'm going to be in the stadium tonight for Monday Night Football. But damn it, they ain't got anything to do with what transpired in Foxborough, Massachusetts last night. It was supposed to be Tom Brady versus Bill Belichick. It was supposed to be just about them, not about mac and cheese or Mac Jones, but it ended up being that way. And oh, by the way, there was a team called America's Team that tried to contaminate the proceedings with a game yesterday. But guess what? On this particular moment, they are irrelevant this morning, okay? We'll talk about it, Michael. We'll talk about it. What you got to say? What you got to say real quick? Hurry up.
What do you mean contaminate?
Contaminate.
You mean bless the situation with what we saw, man. Hey, we got some great football to talk about today, buddy.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. The suit, the tie, we'll talk about that too. First Take in the house. LA style. Let's get it.
One of the greatest returns in sports history.
Good morning. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into First Take. Thank you for being with us. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. What a game. The playmaker, the Hall of Famer, Michael Irvin, didn't have to travel this week for you. Yes. We're in sync with our outfits. I like it. We're ready to go to the prom. Mr. Smith, I can't be mad at you today because I'm happy to be in this LA sunshine. It is good to see you, sir. How we feeling?
I'm wonderful.
How dare this joker wears white on this day?
That's right. Well,
on this day right here.
First of all, it's a statement. It's a statement. I went outside. I went outside in LA yesterday, and it was 90 degrees. So I went like this. I'm here. It's LA. I'm here. And I have to make that kind of statement.
You know who else put on a statement? Not just the Arizona Cardinals.
Who put on
the
statement?
Cowboys. We'll get into that in just a bit. Okay, but this one, gentlemen, had all the hype.
So we've had a personal relationship, and for 20 plus years. So he drafted me here, and we've had a lot of personal conversations that should remain that way, and they're very private. And I would say so much is made of our relationship, and as I said earlier this week, from a player standpoint, you just expect the coach to give you everything he's got, and I'm sure as a player that's what he was hoping from me, but nothing's really accurate that I ever see. It's all kind of definitely doesn't come from my personal feelings or beliefs, and I have a lot of respect for him as a coach, and obviously a lot of respect for this organization and all the different people here that try to make it successful.
Was the experience of coaching against him in the game any different?
Yeah, they're a good football team. He's a great quarterback. I think that's all goes without saying.
Always in character. All right, Stephen A.
Yes.
Both ultimate competitors, trying to be above board there. But this game continues to give us fodder. What do you think the headline is today after that game?
I think Bill Belichick showed his genius. That's not to take anything away from anybody else, because on this particular night, the reality is that we can look at a lot of situations and just say, hey, all right, this guy did this or that. But in the end, Bill Belichick was absolutely sensational. Sans the last field goal, 56-yard field goal attempt by Nick Folk. I don't believe that was the right call. It's not that it was wrong per se. I just would have went for it on a 4th and 3, considering how decimated Tampa Bay's secondary was. Having said all of that, when you saw how discombobulated Tom Ronia's thing, it was validated last night. It's one thing for Tom Brady to just miss throws, overthrow and stuff like he was, because his nerves were probably, he was hyped and all of that other stuff, even though he made some beautiful passes that we either called back because of a penalty or dropped by Antonio Brown. He'd catch that 10 out of 10 times under normal circumstances. We could point to all of that. But in the end, rushing 3, dropping back in the coverage 1 minute, rushing for another, blitzing from one side or another. I mean, when you look at Bill Belichick and how confused Tom Brady was at times, to coach this man for 20 years, to know he's a 7-time Super Bowl champion, at age 44, having seen everything in his NFL career, for him to walk out on that field last night and have multiple moments where he appeared confused, that just shows how brilliant Bill Belichick is.
And our minds have to wrap around things sometimes, because we can even see things and not believe it. That's what happens when people get injured sometimes. You can see it and you not believe it because your body's in shock. But watching that display by Belichick and watching Tom, see, we're so used to seeing Tom like cool hand Luke. He's always ready. He's always in full control of everything. Last night he wasn't. and it was incredible. It was incredible, like you described, to watch. But I think coming out of this game, what you get, you're wearing white. You know, I thought you could wear black because this was a funeral. This laid to rest all of the Tom Brady stuff in New England. Not saying you can't appreciate him, not saying you don't love him, not saying you don't thank him for those 6 Super Bowls that he gave New England. But now it's time, and you can possibly move on. You know what? So difficult in life when something's ripped away to heal from a ripping. You rip this paper, no way you can put it back together. That's why the great surgeons, they carefully just make a little cut so you can heal properly. Right now, the New England Patriots fans can start healing properly because Mac Jones was Tom Brady. I could have, you know what kind of rocket it's going to be for my career to say when Tom Brady returned home that I came in here and beat him. I threw 19 straight completions to beat him. I threw 19 straight, baby. The largest age gap between quarterbacks since the 1950s. And this young man showed up and showed out.
Hold on. Will you stop it?
Yo, you got to give him his love.
Wait a minute.
You got to give him his love in this, man.
I'm not debating.
Oh, my God. In that moment, Stephen A., that's a big moment.
I'm not debating the love. Hold on, Molly. I'm not debating the love that Mac Jones deserves, y'all. Hold it. I'm saying, how dare you sit up here and blame Nick Foles? It's 56. Listen, it's a 56-yard field goal. It's against the wind. Rain is coming down heavily, all right? And it's a 4th and 3.
I'd rather that be the storyline.
Okay.
Because as Mac Jones, I just Tom Brady. I just Tom Brady.
Evidently not good enough.
I made this drive. I got it right here. You're telling me about the elements and the circumstances and the challenges that the kicker had. I'm a rookie. I'm coming here replacing an all-time legend. I ain't thinking about his elements and circumstances. I'm dealing with mine. And I came in here. I kept my nerves cool. I delivered 19 straight. I threw for over 200 yards. I did everything, and you blew this by kicking. Man, I'm going to whoop you up.
No.
I'm just so upset about that, man. Oh, my God.
Because you always blame kickers. Because that's what you do. You always blame kickers. That's what you do. That's what you do.
I don't always blame kickers.
Excuse me.
I just don't do this right.
You don't always blame kickers. Don't let me go to the archives now. I know plenty of occasions where you called out kickers. But let me tell you something right now, and it's rare that you call out a coach. I'm looking at it like this. Bill Belichick's genius is not to be denied. It's not to be denied. I'm just talking about one decision. The only issue I had with him was one decision. And why you've got Bunting is out, okay? You got Dean, he's out. I forgot who else was out. And oh, by the way, you got Richard Sherman straight off his couch. Straight off his couch. He comes to the Buccaneers. What does he say? I'm going to need 2 weeks. He arrived like Wednesday. He said what? What did he say? I'm going to need a few weeks. What did they give him? 5 days, and he played all but one snap.
And we want to win late in the year, and we want to go play in the last game out in California. And so we got to continue to build on this culture week in and week out. No matter what situation we are in the game, we've got to lock arms and just trust our brotherhood and everything and all the commitment we've had up to this point, and continue to grow and continue to get better.
Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin.
Wait to ask you a question.
Was this a statement win for the Dallas Cowboys against the best defense in the league?
Boy, let me tell you why. Let me tell you absolutely yes. And let me tell you something.
Oh, my goodness.
After the game, you know, right before the game, I'm sitting around and I'm studying and I'm watching. I'm with my boy Gene in L.A., right here in L.A., and we're talking about, he's like, Mike, man, I don't know. I just don't know. I want to believe in the Cowboys, but I don't know. I just believe something going on. I said, hey, wash your brain. That's Stephen A. He has stained your brain. You need it washed. He talking, I don't know if I can even believe in him all the way because I just believe something going on. Stop that right now. Get in there, get some soap, get some water, and wash that stain out of your brain because what you saw is for real. Yeah. It's for real. We talked about how Dak Prescott has been playing and leading a group. But the one thing everybody wanted to, and I know I just talked about a funeral, the one thing everybody wanted, a white coat because me and the Cowboys are at the altar of the Super Bowl.
Did you say it to Alta at the Super Bowl?
You saw that performance yesterday. Don't even try.
Let me ask you a question. I love this. Is a statement victory. It's a statement victory, right? Listen, I'm on the record. Carolina Panthers was a team that I looked at and I said, excuse me, at 2-0, this is before they went to 3-0. I said at 2-0, listen, I got love for them. I got love for what I'm seeing from them. But there was no Christian McCaffrey playing with them yesterday. I just want to make sure. Last time I check, who's the star of that team? Ain't that him? Ain't that the all-purpose, all-world back? Not just running the football, but catching passes out of the backfield. And without him, I think one would surmise that they're severely compromised, okay? So when I look at it from that perspective, I'm saying, excuse me, I'm not going to ignore that. I told you when you left to come back to California, I said to you, yo, you got this 6-game stretch. I'm looking at your schedule, this cupcake schedule right here. You should be about 8 or 9-1 when all is said and done.
Cupcake schedule?
Right. No, I'm not talking about that. No.
Okay.
I'm talking about one state. I'm talking about coming into the Carolina game. I looked at the schedule right in front of them, and I said, yo, this is what it is. You're damn right it's a setup. Because I'm trying to tell y'all what's going to happen. All you're going to do is get all excited. You're going to have your few weeks. I'll give y'all this much credit. Y'all going to have a decent Thanksgiving. I give y'all that much credit. Because come Thanksgiving time, you're going to be in first place. You're going to have a winning record. You're going to have a cushion in the NFC least. All of that is true. So we're going to be talking about all of this other stuff. But in the end, what it comes down to is this. You didn't have Christian McCaffrey yesterday. You got DJ Moore. You got Robbie Anderson. DJ Moore had a decent game. Robbie Anderson, you could have gotten more from him. You wasn't able to get more from him. They had to rely on Sam Darnold running for touchdowns, for crying out loud. Yeah. Sam Darnold, okay? So we understand it. And still, they pulled within close late. Now, obviously, y'all went on the 10 in the third quarter. I give y'all credit. Y'all got a multitude of weapons. I like Schultz coming out of your tight end spot. Wilson scored the touchdown. Amari Cooper, that was a beautiful pass from Dak Prescott. And, of course, Pollard is the great supplementary piece coming out of the backfield to Ezekiel Elliott, 67 yards and just 10 carries. I get all of that. Right. But in the end, here's what it comes down to. This high-powered offense that y'all have, everybody's raving about it because they see y'all and that defense led by Dan Quinn, and y'all going ballistic. I will remind you, as much as I love Justin Herbert, and I'm looking forward to watching him tonight against those Raiders, you got a second-year quarterback, and then last week you went up against a second-year quarterback in Jalen Hurts, and then this time around you went up a depleted Carolina Panther squad. Go ahead and stick out your chest all you want to.
Wait.
Because Christian McCaffrey is an automatic depletion if he's not there in the lineup. That's why.
Okay, and Sam Darnold, who played very well. Robbie had some opportunities that he missed. No doubt. But listen, going into that game, Carolina defense was just as good as any defense number-wise that we've ever seen. That's right. They were number one in total defense, number one in rushing defense, number one in passing defense, third down defense, sacks, big plays, and yards per play, and number two in scoring defense. They have the fight of a dog inside of them, and even they go into halftime, they come out and did more and gave you more. Let me tell you, man, what it is. It's Dak Prescott finding people that you have to go to go find. Who is that? Who is this now? Who is Cedric? Who is that? Who is Blake Jarwin? He's finding them all over the football field. He's dispersing the ball.
And Kellen Moore's play calling has been impressive.
It was very impressive.
Okay,
hold on.
Great. Time out. Stephen A. In all seriousness.
I'm dead serious.
No, in all seriousness.
Yes.
I'm looking at you. This isn't joking. I understand you don't like Cowboys fans. Hee hee ha ha. This does not feel like a different Dallas Cowboys team.
It absolutely
in a new day.
It absolutely feels like a different Cowboys team defensively. Offensively, we walked into the season knowing they high-powered. We knew this. Dak Prescott with Ezekiel Elliott.
We didn't. Zeke came off his worst year.
Wait a minute. No. Dak Prescott went down in the middle of Game 5 last year. Yeah. A lot of Ezekiel Elliott's lack of success was attributed to that. By the way, on a fantasy level, you should appreciate that, Miss Fantasy Football. Ezekiel Elliott's my running back. Pay attention now. So listen to me. He made me look good yesterday. Y'all sleeping. So here's the deal.
No, you double dipping. Hold on. You trying to win on both sides.
Here's the deal. Not here though. Fantasy football, absolutely true. Absolutely true. Fantasy football. No, not at all. But here's the deal. What I'm saying to you is this. We don't need to talk about their offense. Their offense is one of the top 2-3 offenses in the NFL. They're that elite. I get that. The question about them was their defense, and I'm still not believing. Now, here's where to answer your question.
can you not be believing?
Tell me.
Yeah.
I just told you the cupcake schedule coming up. Not to mention this. This is the point that I want y'all to pay attention to. I'm looking at the conference. I can't believe you don't know this about me, Molly. I see Arizona. Yeah. I see the Rams. I see Seattle gonna come. Yeah. I see Green Bay having won 3 straight. I'm looking at all of these teams within Tampa, of course. I'm looking at all these teams within the conference, and I'm saying to you, you could talk to me all you want to about the Dallas Cowboys defense. What about when they go against real experienced quarterbacks? What's going to happen then? Let's see what happens.
I thought Tom
Let's see what happens.
Experienced quarterback. It's not like they haven't gone up.
And what happened? Did they lose? They got that L they got? Did they get that L?
That's the only L they got. It was the first week of the season.
I just told you.
And it was without Zach Martin.
That was coming off a major.
Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Sam Darnold.
Okay.
That's your only
let's
fight
get into
right
commercial
now.
break.
I can't.
He's hanging on by a thread. Still to come, Kyler's Cards knock off the #1 team from last week's Stevens A-list. Were the Rams overrated? We get into that. And that bad man Aaron Rodgers.
I understand the hype around this game, division game, haven't beaten them, all that stuff. Every game is important, and that's how I see it, and that's how the guys in the locker room see it. So this isn't the Super Bowl. We're not going to treat it as such. Like I said, we came here today, executed, and that was, that's that.
I like that bummer. Dan Orlovsky, how we doing? Good to see you, sir.
I'm doing well. It's great to see you guys. Stephen A. got the bone and filet on, I see. I like that.
Well, don't hate my brother, Mr. Orange Crush. Watch yourself, because that's how I look. I don't know what the hell you're wearing. That's how I look. I know I look good, and it's appropriate because I'm in L.A. I'm in L.A. rocking what I rock.
We're a little summertime
we
over
good.
here. But
it was 90 degrees here yesterday.
I see the fall feels. I'm with you. We're just clashing a little today. We'll work on that when we're back in New York.
That's right. Hold on. By the way, to the producers, let me put on my producer hat for a second.
Okay.
To the producer, the director specifically, be careful about putting Molly on a split screen with Dan. It ain't your fault. You look lovely. But the combination of your outfit with Dan and that orange outfit, you might blind the viewers. So let's be very clear. Let's be very, very clear.
We got this.
That's right.
Stephen A., I'll start with you. Is Arizona the best team right now?
I think after week 4, you can legitimately say that at this particular moment in time. I didn't think that was the case last week. I was looking at the Los Angeles Rams after their big-time victory, but to watch Arizona manhandle them the way that they did yesterday, I don't think there's any way around it. You've got this kid, Chase Edmonds, that averaged 10 yards a carry. You got James Conner from the Pittsburgh Steelers in a better situation right now, and obviously in short yardage situations, he's their go-to guy. He's got 2 touchdowns yesterday. You look at the combination of DeAndre Hopkins along with A.J. Green, who's been resurrected at the quarterback spot, despite how miniature he is in height. I'm looking at it from that perspective, and I'm saying, look the hell out. The Arizona Cardinals are coming. That's not something that I ever wanted to say.
Yeah.
Because my attitude with Kingsbury, just so you know, Playmaker and Orlovsky, I've always been, and you know this about me, Molly, Kingsbury might do a great job. I think he's doing a great job right now. I don't think there's any denying that. And I wish him nothing but the best. I just hated the fact that he got the job coming out of Texas Tech because you were there for 6 years. You didn't prove much, but you landed an NFL head coaching job and you bypassed so many qualified candidates. But there's no escaping the job that he's doing right now and that he deserves credit for it as well. It's special to see, and the Arizona Cardinals look as if they have arrived.
Michael, before you jump in, let me say one thing quickly. Do you remember we had Kyler Murray on the set, Stephen A., when he was being drafted, and all the talk was about his height?
Yeah, from Atlanta during the Super Bowl.
Could he really perform with his height? I mean, at 5'10", and he's proven,
he wasn't worried about it at all.
No, he was not, and he's proven folks wrong.
Right, and I understand, Stephen A., your pushback on the way that all transpired. Now, if they had known they were going to get Kyler Murray and then pointed out and said, hey, I want this guy because he has this offense, I'm going to hire him, and taking that reverse, then maybe you say, okay, because you wanted to invest in the asset of the first pick of the draft.
Right.
Because the marriage between these two is obviously a great marriage.
Right.
It's obviously a great marriage. Well, we can see it. If somebody had the foresight to see it prior to us seeing it, then we can see it now, but said with that talent and that offense, we can bring it, then I wouldn't have an issue with them seeing it that way. Now, I love what Arizona is doing. I love what they're doing. And, Stephen A., you talked about it. You talked about the players, man. A.J. Green, that 41-yard touchdown yesterday, A.J. Green looked like the old A.J. Green.
Yep.
I mean, he looked like money again. You could see the excitement in his face again playing football in a place where he knows he has a chance of going and doing something farther. But still, I look at the people that they have played. They beat Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
They just lost to the Jets.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yes. They beat Tennessee. They beat Jacksonville.
They lose to everybody.
Right. Okay. Now they got this great win on their record.
Yep.
They got this great win, and that's a good win. But to consistently play with the top teams. There were so many opportunities missed, and I know we're talking about the Rams, and I'll save that for the Rams. There were so many opportunities missed in that game. Oh my God. Matthew Stafford missed everybody in that game, wide open.
I know why he did it too.
Oh, you got some insight that we don't know?
Not that you don't know, that you didn't bring up, but it's all right. Go ahead. I'm here to help you.
Are you trying to say, the defense took out Cooper Kupp?
So, Michael, you're saying Arizona is not the best team.
I'm saying we don't have enough intel.
Okay.
You're saying we're going off of it, and I like what Arizona's doing right now. But will I say I'm taking Arizona and making Arizona top team? No, not right now.
So we got intel with the Cowboys.
We got enough intel. I'm telling you about.
Why are you coming in defense, Molly?
No,
you beat Tennessee, Minnesota, and Jacksonville.
You can't be on the show and preach resume and competition every time, and then Michael brings it up. And
yeah. See, that's
I can hold you accountable, Mr. Smith.
Excuse me, you hold me accountable for everything, including what I eat for breakfast. You hold me accountable for everything.
I'm happy I was at the beach on Saturday. Thank you for that.
You hear with him every day, and you see and you feel this stuff he's spitting every day. And sometimes I'm gone. So you know what he puts down, and don't let him
Dan Orlovsky, what's up?
Don't let him retract.
Well, the great Michael Irvin, the playmaker, references like someone else may have seen this coming before potentially others, and I wish there was this show that maybe recorded things that people said that you could bring back from a couple weeks ago to prove to people that maybe there was someone that tried to tell you guys that this was a legitimate thing for the Arizona Cardinals. So you got the pieces around a quarterback that looks special, a coach that's starting to maybe get it when it comes to like the scheme of an offense, and a defense that can get after it. I expected Tennessee to be somewhat representative of they were for the past 2 years, replacing a new play caller. I get all that. Right. But when I watched that game yesterday, I go, that doesn't look like a team that might contend in their division. That looks like a team, if they continue to play like that, and that quarterback is that unstoppable, they look like a team that can represent the NFC and go to the Super Bowl. Huh? How about that one? How about that one, Stephen A?
Okay.
I think it's hard. I think it's hard to sit here and point to say that there's a team better than Arizona right now. What we've seen from this football team is a defense that takes the football away. J.J. Watt's playing great in the run game. Byron Murphy has stepped up in the secondary as a big-time playmaker. You guys mentioned A.J. Green. Here's the thing that Arizona does as good offensively, if not better than everybody, with Kyler Murray. He's incredible from the pocket right now. I don't need to go on national television and rave about what he's doing outside of the pocket, the cute stuff and the great athleticism outside the pocket. He's as good from the pocket as anybody in football right now. They've got so many of these different weapons. They can run the football as well. This is a very, very borderline complete football team. And yeah, they are up there with the best teams in all of the NFL.
Well, let's say this real quick. Just throw this out as an aside. The Rams, as impressive as they were the first 3 games of this year, were a flagrant disappointment.
Okay.
And the reason I'm going to say that, in all seriousness, you can't target Cooper Kupp twice as many times as you target everybody else and think that somebody is not going to figure that out. You got to be versatile if you're Matthew Stafford. And the only reason I bring that up is that you're too experienced
to be having to jump off that boat of the Rams. I'm not going to tell you about jumping on this Cardinal boat. You know what I mean? Because with what they got coming, you maybe have to jump off that Cardinal boat. They got San Francisco, Cleveland, Green Bay, Carolina, and in week 17 they got some boys coming. You know what I mean? So they got some teams that they have to play coming. And this point that you make, greatness is every week, man. It's every week. The Rams give it to you one week, they take it away the next week. Now, the Cardinals have given it to you, and that's why I talked about the people that they are playing against.
Dan.
The Cardinals have given it to you. But will they be able to give it to you every week, week in and week out? After a high emotional win, the Rams won a high emotional win last week, and then they came back and lost. No, I'm not talking about going 17-0. Right. I'm not talking about going 17-0. I'm talking about being able to stabilize.
Consistency. Dan, where are you on that, what Michael was just speaking of?
Yeah, I think what we're seeing is that in regards to the Cardinals and their ability to be consistent, this is something that we've seen over the first month of the season. I agree with him, but it's always come down to Cliff Kingsbury. And that's the biggest growth for this football team, tied with Kyler Murray's performance as a thrower and their production on the offensive line. But 100% it's about Cliff Kingsbury. This is a team that's going to contend to win this division. This is a team that's going to be into the playoffs. Concerning loss for the Rams, no. Number one, you're not going to turn the football over twice like that early in the football game. And then number two, Matthew Stafford's not going to get outplayed often. Kyler Murray outplayed him yesterday. That will not be the case on a consistent basis for the Rams.
Man, Matthew Stafford missed a lot of throws.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
But again, like you said, big emotional win, and then maybe that has something to do with it.
That's consistency.
We'll see. Dan, thanks so much for being with us. We'll talk to you soon. Kyler Murray, best completion percentage in the NFL.
He's playing ball, man.
Coming up, y'all, Stephen A. Steelers fall to 1-3 after getting beat by his favorite player. Will we see the return of saddened A. Smith? Find out next. Plus, there were a lot of folks giving Tom Brady more credit for the Patriots' dynasty than Bill Belichick. Did the coach flip the script on that? Scoring over 30 points per game since its season-opening loss. Meanwhile, only the Jets and the Texans have scored fewer points than Pittsburgh since Week 2. RC is here. Brian, where are you? There he is. Okay. We got to add another Super Bowl champion to the show
He's
here.
shaking his head.
Right, good to see you. But I'm going to start with Stephen A. here. Stephen A., what is the bigger storyline? Is it Pittsburgh losing their third straight or the Packers winning their third straight?
I'm going to say it's the Packers winning. And the reason why I'm going to say it's the Packers winning is because of a combination of two things. Number one, the Packers have resurrected themselves to what we expected them to be with Aaron Rodgers being their quarterback, based on how they've looked the last few weeks. And Pittsburgh is what we thought they were. I'm not going to get into the Steelers too much. I don't feel like crying. I don't want to be depressed. I don't want to go through that. But I do want to cry. I do want to cry because I genuinely feel they're done because Ben Roethlisberger can't move. He can't move. His legs are gone. He's standing in the pocket, no play option. Can't move. Can't step up in the pocket, can't do anything. Can't roll out, can't do anything. Okay? And, missed Juju Smith-Schuster 3 times. Missed Deontay Johnson another time. The Steelers are what we thought they are. A team with a suspect offensive line, with a quarterback who's going to the Hall of Fame and deservedly so, but Father Time is clearly caught up to him. That is not the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers is the reigning league MVP. And that brother is something special. You saw those 2 touchdowns he threw to Randall Cobb, particularly one when Randall Cobb went in there, zipped that pass to him, and ultimately he scampered in for a touchdown. When you look at Aaron Rodgers and you look at this offense and you look at Jones and Dillon running the football yesterday and you look at Aaron Rodgers, what is it, 20 of 36, 248 yards, 2 TDs, of course no interceptions. He is just that special. And when Aaron Rodgers is balling, the Green Bay Packers are a legitimate title contender. You simply can't dismiss them. And that's where they are. As we look at the NFC with Arizona and Tampa Bay and of course, L.A., Arizona, Seattle, San Francisco. I look at the entire NFC West. When you look at all of them, you can't summarily dismiss Green Bay against any of them. Because that man, Aaron Rodgers, is a bad man. It is that simple. And to me, that's the story you walk away with. Since the opening night hiccup, opening day hiccup, opening night after, I'm sorry, this brother has been on it.
Yeah, and listen, I think you walk away thinking about and talking about just like we're doing those Pittsburgh Steelers and saying, oh, my God. Oh, my God. And here's the thing with the Pittsburgh Steelers and why this is a painful situation. Because every now and then you see a little glimmer and your hope rise. Yeah. But it's just glitter. It's not gold. And when you started that first drive, woof, for his 400th career touchdown, he's beautiful pass. He made touchdown. But that was it. And that's what goes on with the great ones. They can conjure it up every blue moon. One play here, one play there. But you cannot consistently do it. And you don't have a run game that will help you consistently do it. You're asking for this man to do too much to consistently hit Juju Smith-Schuster. Some of those passes, man, I'm going to tell you something. I just feel bad for Ben because this is the hardest place in the world for an athlete, a superior athlete, a winner like Ben to be in. He's trying to fix it. He's doing everything he can, and he's pulling on everything he has, and he can't get it done because it's not within his bones anymore. It's his greatest asset now becoming a great liability. He never listened to anybody before when they said he couldn't do it, and he became one of the greatest quarterbacks, but now he needs to listen, and it's time to try to find some way to bow out of this thing, Ryan. I don't know how this thing is going to end, but I told y'all before this thing started, this is bad for Mike Tomlin. This is going to be his first losing season, and him losing 3 in a row. Stephen A. and all you guys said, no way, Mike Tomlin, he's a great coach. And yes, he is. He'll find a way. No, he won't this time. Not with that guy, Ben Roethlisberger, at quarterback.
And I think that's why the Steelers are the bigger story, Mike. And, you know, I get what Stephen A. is saying. Like, the Steelers are what we thought they were, but the Green Bay Packers aren't world beaters on defense. And yesterday they had opportunities, and I was one of those people beating the drum that no, Big Ben wasn't what he used to be, but he wasn't washed up. I felt like Big Ben still had some things left in the tank, and when he makes that throw to Deontay Johnson on the first drive, you're thinking to yourself, this could be the day. This could be the day where we see the old Big Ben resurrect himself on some plays, or Big Ben find a way to be great when it counted. If you go back to the first week against Buffalo, and I said this before the season, and Mike kind of hinted at it, that the great ones don't necessarily go all the way out, right? Like the flame doesn't burn out all the way because they can be great in spots. And we watched Ben be great late in the game against the Buffalo Bills, and we hadn't seen it for 2 weeks. He had opportunity after opportunity to make plays yesterday, and he just couldn't. And it's different when you look at someone and you say that they didn't, and when you look at him and say that they couldn't. Big Ben Roethlisberger can't anymore. And so now the Pittsburgh Steelers are put in a position where they have to make a decision. Do you continue to try to play this season with Big Ben, or do you go to one of the younger guys, whether it's Mason Rudolph or Dwayne Haskins, and see what you have going forward in the future? And that's what makes this a big deal. The Green Bay Packers are going to be fine. Aaron Rodgers is going to be fine. But now you're ending an era in Pittsburgh, and where do you go?
You see those receivers, they don't even run routes. I'm telling you, man, if I'm a receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers and I'm in that locker room, we're huddling up, man. We're talking about it. It's like, man, I was wide open, man. Ben missed me. I was wide open, man. Ben missed me. And that virus in your computer, you got no shot. You got no shot.
I will say this to you. I totally agree with where you're coming from in that regard, playmaker, but I will tell you it's pretty hard for Juju Smith-Schuster, anybody to bring him up making that kind of discussion when we're accustomed to seeing him on TikTok. You certainly don't feel like you certainly don't look serious and focused, prior to the games because you're preoccupying yourself with that kind of stuff. I don't know if he did it yesterday, but I know that he had been doing it for the past year.
Missing him, I can see if he's missing passes. If he's dropping passes, then I'm saying put your foot.
Yesterday was not his fault. He was open, and Ben Roethlisberger
overthrew. When a man has another way to get him ready.
Overthrew it or underthrew it. But here's the deal, guys, and I'm going to throw out this question to you two NFL guys. There's a part of me that wants to say, no offensive line, even though they didn't play that badly yesterday. They made some mistakes, but they didn't play that badly. No offensive line and a quarterback that clearly is over the hill. And I look at the fact that you got in this situation as an organization. Does Mike Tomlin need more power? Should he have the power to coach and be a GM and pick his personnel? I think he has earned it. But here's where it gets dicey. You read the local papers like the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette and us. These folks are talking about how they're questioning, Ryan, whether Mike Tomlin is playing the role of enabler because you see what you're seeing from Ben Roethlisberger, and you won't deviate, and you've given every indication that you're not about to deviate from him, away from him. So what kind of position does that leave Mike Tomlin in? What does he have to do? Because, again, Mason Rudolph or Haskins, Those guys can't go in unless Mike Tomlin allows it.
Let me ask you something, though, Stephen A.
Right.
Let me ask you something. How did you see Kobe Bryant's departure when they gave Kobe that extra deal? They gave Kobe that extra time.
Yeah.
How did you see that?
It was rough.
Okay.
It was rough.
But
I blame the Lakers.
But he earned
I
that.
blame the Lakers, not Kobe, though.
But he earned that.
Then
He
look what
earned- he
Bill
earned
Belichick
that.
did, and
By
he has
what
Mac
gave,
Jones.
He earned that last shot. Whatever he think he has in him, he earned that last shot. Ben earned this last shot.
Okay.
But you gave him the last shot.
That's right.
And now you can start saying, Ben, we gave it to you.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
got to try to save this team right now.
Yeah, you absolutely gave Ben his last shot, but I feel like as an organization, you should have had a plan in place if it worked
there's
out
no doubt.
this way. I don't feel like Kevin
There's no
Colbert,
doubt.
the GM, did a good job of setting this team up to move on. And I think we've seen this slide with Ben throughout the last few years. And Mason Rudolph was the last quarterback that you drafted that high. And I know Kevin Colbert said he had a first-round grade on Mason Rudolph, but we've seen this man play. We've seen Mason Rudolph as the starting quarterback, and you know that's not your future. And so now you're in a place where I think in that building, you still feel that Ben Roethlisberger is your best option. And unless you're giving up on the season, you can't move on from him. And so Mike Tomlin's in a tough spot. This offense is in a tough spot. Kevin Colbert's in a tough spot. The Rooney family. Everybody put all of their eggs in the basket of Big Ben Roethlisberger this year, knowing you weren't going to have an offensive line, knowing you had a new offensive coordinator. This is just a position that is a no-win for Mike Tomlin. And for a man who, whether it's the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, whether it's the fans in Pittsburgh, for a man who's never had a losing season and have his job called for on so many different occasions, how do you think this works out if this team continues to spiral, if this team is at the bottom or in the cellar of the AFC North?
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like Pittsburgh needs their Mac Jones. Ryan, thank you so much for being with us. We'll talk to you soon. Tom
Enjoy LA,
Brady,
guys.
yes, thank you.
We will.
Barely escaping Foxborough with a win. After all the credit given to Brady since he got to Tampa, did Bill Belichick steal back some of his shine last night? The playmakers got some thoughts on that. Plus, you know, Michael has something to say about the Cowboys. But will he go as far as to say Dak Prescott is the NFL's best quarterback right now? Stick around for that. Stakes still to come. Is Dak now the best quarterback in football? That might be the debate of the year between the Playmaker and Stephen A. Plus, so much more football to break down. Keep it locked right here. Lowest output in a game this season, but they still got the 2-point win, dropping New England to 1-3. Michael, I want to ask you this. Even though the Patriots lost, did it still feel like a win, Playmaker, for Bill Belichick?
Absolutely. Oh, my God, absolutely. It was an absolute win for Bill Belichick. You know, we make this comparison, even though it's not apples to apples comparison. Who won when Tom left and went on to Tampa Bay and he won the Super Bowl, and then Bill didn't make the playoffs, and they said, oh, Tom. But this was a head-to-head matchup. And it's not where it's quarterback and quarterback. These guys were actually going against one another. It was Tom Brady going up against that defense that Bill Belichick put on the field and that he called. And I mean, all of those guys on that defense stepped up and played for him. Tom Brady had 0 touchdowns in the first half. 0 touchdowns. Now, before last week, they had scored like 10 straight games of scoring at least 30 straight points. Now, the Rams held them 24. 0 touchdowns in the first half. Man, and then he took a rookie quarterback who had only negative 1 yard rushing and played this thing to the end with that rookie quarterback who outplayed Tom. Completion percentage, Tom was 51, he was 75. Yards, 269 to 275. Tom had 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. This man had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. 101 passer rating. Tom only 70 passer rating. Absolutely, Bill Belichick won, and he made a statement. Stop talking that noise that I am not the GOAT of what I do, because I took the GOAT of quarterbacks and made him look like that. Absolutely, Bill.
Well, see, to me, I'm gonna get a bit more specific and say why I feel that Bill Belichick wakes up this morning looking a lot better than we realize. Let's understand that this is an 8-time champion. The man has 6 Super Bowl titles as a head coach, and 2 as a defensive coordinator. And we sat here literally, all of us throughout the media, across the nation, everybody was talking about, was it really about Tom? Was it really about Bill? I mean, Bill Belichick's only 36-30 without Tom Brady. I mean, what has he done? Okay, this is what they say. Okay, and they were talking about that, and then they talked about his truculent personality, or a bit stoic, more so than truculent and what have you. They brought up things of that nature. They talked about Tom Brady departing from New England, how Bill Belichick didn't meet with him face to face. You harped on how disrespectful it was and how Tom Brady deserved better. All of this stuff was being said. Bill Belichick had nothing to say. He went out there, and then we looked at the Bucs team. Even though they didn't have Rob Gronkowski, none of us brought that up. They did not have Rob Gronkowski because we know Tom Brady would have utilized him, particularly.
But we didn't know that when we talked about it on Friday.
I know that, but what I'm saying is they didn't have Rob Gronkowski in those weather conditions on very familiar turf because he was there for a few Super Bowls himself and played in New England all of those years. So he would have definitely been able to adapt to that situation. I feel bad for Antonio Brown because I know under normal circumstances, I think he would have made that catch for the touchdown late in the game that would have closed the deal. Having said all of that, the reality is that we've seen Tom Brady have better games before. We've seen Tom Brady struggle before. We've never seen him look confused.
Yeah.
And last night, he looked confused. And to know that you coached a guy for damn near 20 years, coached him for 20 years, okay? And everybody, and I even brought this up Friday. I said, excuse me, everybody talking about, Tom Brady, Bill Belichick's coming and what have you. Did anybody take into account the fact that Tom Brady's been playing for this man? And no matter what you try to do, you ain't going to be able to throw a wrinkle into the equation because Tom Brady is going to figure it out. When you rave about Tom Brady, you don't talk about just his ability. You talk about his brilliance because he controls everything. He sees everything coming. He's 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of the competition, et cetera, et cetera. All right. We saw that, okay? And last night, the brother looked confused sometimes. And if there's anything that is a testament to the greatness of Bill Belichick, if you can confuse Tom Brady, not just confuse Tom Brady because of his greatness, but because you coached him for 20 years and you could still find it to confuse him, that just shows me the brilliance of Bill Belichick right there.
Right, and it's confusion after confirmation. Let me tell you what I mean by that, because people will be on Twitter, Stephen. What do you mean look confused? Look confused last year. Yeah, last year he was in a new offense. He was in a whole new offense. He was learning new players in a new offense. But confused after confirmation, he has that offense down now. He went and won a Super Bowl with it. So now he has it in his spirit and grafted in his spirit. He knows where his outlets are. He knows where everything is. And Bill Belichick took it all away. I mean, he changed up who he was doubling. You saw Tom trying to get through reads, and then to see Tom like that was absolutely, and it was incredible. It was hard to stop watching. I just kept watching, and I kept waiting. I kept waiting on the bus out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, they'll pull away soon. They'll come back. They'll pull away. They'll do something and go.
Because he always does.
And he always does.
Especially even in the fourth,
But he did. But he did not. And we're sitting here saying, and I'm not so sure, and I won't confirm it because I hear everybody saying, well, if Tom had got the ball back with 50 seconds.
I'll confirm it. No, I don't know why you wouldn't.
Why can't you?
That's ridiculous, though. That's ridiculous, though.
Even though they gave him his 50th game-winning drive in that game last night.
Michael Irvin.
If he had gotten that ball back with 50 seconds, we cannot confirm that he was going to drive that ball down.
You keep talking this blasphemy. You keep talking this blasphemy. Let me tell you what I'm going to do. Let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop calling you the playmaker. I'm going to start calling you Michael. You keep starting this nonsense. Let me tell you something right now. Listen. I understand where you're coming from, but you're trying to tell me with 59 seconds left, this is Tom Brady. All I need is a field goal. All I need is a field goal. You trying to tell me that you know what? You will question whether or not he'd get them in field goal range?
As badly as Tom wanted the field goal, Tom wanted to come in here and drop a 50 burger on you. Tom couldn't.
And what happened?
What Tom wanted. It wasn't about what he wanted. It was about what Bill Belichick took from him.
I understand that. A field goal. Tom Brady needed a field goal. That's almost the equivalent of Tom Brady needing a couple of first downs to seal a deal in an NFC Championship game, which is why Matt LaFleur should never be able to live that down.
Couldn't get
That's
a field
almost
goal
tantamount
in
to
the
that.
first half. I'm sure he wanted one in the first half. He like touchdown.
Oh, please.
He couldn't get any
They
of that.
weren't punting the ball well. Special teams play was shoddy.
Bill did an incredible job.
Moved the target on Tom. Once Tom get a target,
I'm giving credit for that.
Moved it. That's what
Michael,
I'm saying.
how big was not having a Gronk there?
Hey, listen.
Oh, really? You stuttering?
Well, I don't think not having Gronk was as big as last week not having Antonio Brown. Now, you see what I'm saying? So you had Antonio Brown this time. I said that last week. That's why I still held him. That's why I still have him.
See, this is where he's inconsistent. I got you now. This is where he's inconsistent. And this is where Michael got to be exposed, okay?
Let me give you a reason why.
Go ahead.
Let me give you a reason why. Where is Gronk dangerous? In the red zone.
Yeah.
They wasn't getting there. They didn't score a touchdown.
Hold on.
Where's Gronk made his bones in the red zone?
And Belichick would have been all over him, yeah.
Is it beyond the realm of comprehension that Rob Gronkowski would have helped him get to the red zone?
No, I understand what you're saying.
All right, then stop it. Then stop it. You know you ain't making a sense. Here's the deal. Rob Gronkowski, you're throwing in between the numbers. You got somebody that you can throw the football to in those situations, particularly if you're Tom Brady, that's going to help. Not only that, you got somebody else that Bill Belichick would have had to pay attention to. You've got somebody for Tom Brady to throw the ball to in short yardage situations. There's a plethora of things that come into play that says that, especially against his former team, because Tom Brady wasn't the only one who used to play for the Patriots. There was also Rob Gronkowski. That would have helped immensely. It don't make no sense what you say.
Molly said something. Bill would have fixed that. Bill knows Tom trying to throw inside out.
They would have been double teaming him, Stephen A. That's the only reason why I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
Rob Gronkowski with Antonio Brown on the field?
No doubt. I'm telling you how important Antonio Brown is. But what you're trying to tell me is, if Rob was there,
so basically what everybody at this desk is saying is Belichick won last night. Even though he lost, they won. Okay? Everyone's agreeing on that.
Yes.
All right. We'll see if we agree.
And Tom was trying to say, it was tough to win in here. I see why it's coming. No, Tom, just say, Bill is great.
Okay. Coming up,
just say
Dak Prescott looks fully recovered from his injuries, and the Cowboys offense looks dangerous with him back at the helm. Is Dak making the leap into top tiers and passes, touchdown to interception ratio? Playmaker, Michael Irvin. Is Dak the best quarterback in the NFL at this moment?
Simply the best. That's one of my favorite songs. Simply the best. That's what
I can't sing, so I won't do it to anybody.
But we can try to sing.
But we knew what
when
it
it comes
was.
to Dak like this here. Simply the best, man. And you that completion percentage.
Yeah.
That's saying, not like Ben Roethlisberger and those other guys we just talked about, that I'm placing the ball right where I'm supposed to place it. And my guys are doing what they're supposed to do with it. Dak, he had back-to-back games of 130 passer ratings. We always talk about people throwing the ball and throwing the ball all over the field. But it's about the efficiency in which you throw the ball. And can you become any and everything I need you to become to win a football game? I made the statement a little while ago, years ago. I said this man right here is the most like Tom Brady we have in the National Football League. And that's Dak Prescott. He can win any kind of way he needs to win a football game. He can do it late. He can beat you. He can beat you throwing the ball all over the field. He can just lead his group and raise his group. He is a leader, the emotional leader from the quarterback position. People, let me tell you something. Out here, we always want to make a quarterback the leader. We anoint them leaders, but everybody doesn't want it. But the very few know the power of that position. Dak Prescott, Tom Brady's, and they know how to pull people together and make people play for him. That's why you're hearing names like you never heard before. And remember ye this. It's the same thing we used to have with Tom Brady. Who? What receiver was that? Who is Cedric Wilson right there catching a touchdown? You don't remember saying all these things with Tom Brady when he was coming up. You know why? Because Tom knows how, what I told Dan, to reach down inside a kid and pull out his king. And Dak has that same ability. All those players that come around, the Schultz, the Jarwins, he can reach inside those kids and pull out their king. He's not just great shoulders down. down, he's great shoulders up, and he's great right in the middle, right there in the heart. That's why people play for him, and you need that in the National Football League. That's why I say he's the most like the GOAT in the National Football League, and now his play is matching it. Absolutely. Simply the best.
That is ridiculous. Oh, please. Listen, man. Listen. I like that. I like that. Dak can play, but come on, man. The way Kyler Murray is looking right now. Last time I checked, Kyler Murray completed 76% of his passes. Last time I checked, they're undefeated. The Dallas Cowboys are not. Now, you want to sit up there and you want to look at the Dallas Cowboys. You played against the Super Bowl champions. You played against the Chargers.
Yeah, they played better teams.
I understand all of that, but listen, I saw what the Arizona Cardinals did to the Los Angeles Rams. I know what I saw yesterday. I know what I saw them do against Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey and the crew. I know what I saw that yesterday. I see a guy that's an ultimate dual threat. If it were not for Lamar Jackson, you have any idea what we'd be saying about Kyler Murray in terms of his ability to make plays with his legs? There's no denying that. And then we look at A.J. Green. Then we look at DeAndre Hopkins. Now we look at all the weapons that Dallas has. Guys wide open. We got, again, Gallup's been out. But you have Amari Cooper. You do have CeeDee Lamb. All right. I like this kid Cedric Wilson as well. All right. Look at the dual tight ends, Blake Jarwin, Schultz. Both of them got about 5 touchdowns.
Yesterday.
You got weapons all over the place. I give you that. And then obviously with Kellen Moore's play calling, they deserve a lot of credit. But what I'm saying to you is this: when you look at Kyler Murray and the way that brother has been balling, he ain't got Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard in the backfield, along with those weapons in the middle and wide out behind the numbers. The bottom line is this, outside the numbers rather. The bottom line is this: Arizona, with all the weapons that they have, don't have the weapons that the Dallas Cowboys have, and still look what Kyler Murray is doing. You got to be kidding me. This is the pom-poms. This is where you wearing the blue and white pom-poms. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing, right? So in other words, it's not enough for you. Hold on. It's not enough for you to sit up there, and I have the temerity, the unmitigated gall to sit up there and talk about, you know what, Dak Prescott is big time. The closest to the GOAT? Are you really? With Aaron Rodgers playing. Aaron Rodgers is playing. And Aaron Rodgers didn't retire. You brought up Derek Carr. All right? I ain't going to even go that far. But I'm just saying, I'm looking at the names here. You Kyler Murray. You got Aaron Rodgers. You sit up there, and Josh Allen ain't been anything to sneeze at since they lost opening day because Buffalo is doing their thing up there in the AFC, okay? We've got Lamar Jackson still playing. All right? We look at Patrick Mahomes. You got Derek Carr. You got Justin Herbert. And you sit there with a straight face. And you gonna sit up there, the closest to the GOAT?
And you won't take any one of them over Dak Prescott. You will not take any one of them over Dak Prescott. Right? You know what I mean?
Hold up. I'm gonna catch a heart attack. Are you telling me I want to take Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers?
Because Aaron Rodgers and all his mess, all his squiggly hair mess. You ain't even taking him with all that squiggly hair mess. You got a clean up Dak Prescott.
You got the audacity.
You ain't taking nobody over Dak.
Listen to me. The question. You have the audacity to talk about somebody's hairdo? Are you kidding me? You talking about Aaron Rodgers' hair? Have you looked in the mirror? All I asked you to do was get a trim. I didn't even ask you to cut it. You got a damn slope. You got a damn slope. I mean, what the hell are you trying to do? You're trying to be the Black Elvis? I mean, what the hell is going on?
That's the slope the Cowboys take it to the Super Bowl. Right there. Right on to that Super Bowl.
Are you sitting here? I just want it for the record, Molly. I just want it for the record. And I can't believe you let me get away. I want this for the record. Are you telling me? Are you telling me you would take Dak Prescott over Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes right now?
I'm taking Dak Prescott over any and everybody.
Oh, my God.
I'm taking Dak Prescott right now, dog.
Unbelievable. You got to be crazy.
And really? Maybe because I know him more.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
How you know?
Maybe.
No. I'm saying what we're talking about, and it's not just he plays the Cowboys. Listen, this dude's a different dude, man. I spent enough time around this dude. This is different. You don't get this at the quarterback position. That's why I place it next to Tom Brady. Tom Brady is always about his truth. After Tom won that first Super Bowl, I remember coming up to me one time. He asked me, he said, how'd you guys win more Super Bowls? I said, don't ever walk behind or in front. Always walk with your guys. I never see, he took it to heart. That's what he is, man. The moment when I'm with him, I feel like I want to go catch a pass for him. So he's a leader. He's that kind of guy. And Dak has that. Dak has that. He pulls it out of you. Aaron Rodgers don't give me that. I got to leave 53 different guys.
There's tape. Are you trying to say you never want to catch the ball from Aaron Rodgers?
I love Aaron Rodgers.
All right,
I ain't saying that. That ain't our conversation right now. You ask me, will I take it over Dak Prescott right now?
You would take Dak Prescott
I'm taking Dak
over everybody.
I'm sorry, I'm taking Dak over everybody.
You were ridiculous.
Because I know what it takes, dog. I know what it takes.
You know what it takes? I got 2 eyes. I got 2 eyes.
I want you to have.
Listen, Dak Prescott's impressive. He ain't never been those dudes. He ain't never been those dudes. You need to stop. You need to stop it right now.
All they have on him is time. He's moving to that right now.
What the hell Patrick Mahomes get? Patrick Mahomes, he's a senior citizen.
Patrick a bad boy.
He's a bad boy.
Patrick's a bad boy. Nobody's taking anything from Patrick. Nobody's taking anything from Aaron Rodgers. But I'm taking Dak Prescott. I don't know if I knew another language I could say it in. I'll say that. I'll say it that way because obviously you hear me with your mouth gate and not your ear gate, and that's the divine apparatus God gave you to listen with his ear, not your mouth. I'm telling you, I'm taking Dak Prescott.
God gave you 2 ears, Stephen A.
The divine apparatus that God gave me.
2 ears,
2
1 mouth.
ears, 1 mouth, or whatever. I recall being quiet while you said it. I just couldn't believe you said it, okay? Which means I heard you correctly, but I couldn't believe my ears that God blessed me with. And I'm sitting here right now. I just had my hearing checked. It was great.
Really?
Oh, yes, I take care of myself,
That's
baby.
good.
The bottom line is this. I'm sitting there and I'm listening to you say this drivel. I mean, I don't even, you're going to pay for this. You're going to pay for this. This is the ultimate form of blasphemy. The best quarterback, you wouldn't take anybody over Dak Prescott.
One last thing that I say this so you really understand. I love, when we talk about Patrick Mahomes because his ability to excite us with the big plays.
Because he produced.
And he produces. But he's been producing, and it's all big plays. When you're talking about being able to walk a ball up the football field, consistently walk a ball up the football field. If they take away those big plays, I'm taking Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott can consistently walk a ball.
He got about 12 different weapons.
That's why he's walking.
I'm just saying.
Weapons you never heard of.
Other dudes are doing it without the weapons he has available, but you still take him over there?
But see, this is the whole thing. This is what kills me. This is what people used to say when, y'all had an all-pro defense offensive line. They weren't all-pro when we got there. We built that. We made that.
That was 30 years ago. That was 30 years ago.
So same thing here. So Dak Prescott is building that. He is making that. He is going towards that.
He's making lemonade. But seriously, I need to clean your glasses. It's driving me nuts. Jerry Jones said, I'll clean those for you.
I give you credit.
I appreciate it.
Clean the glass while I'm blessed with this knowledge. Here's the deal. You can see clearly now. Really? Why you wearing the glasses? You damn well can't see clearly. You can't see clearly. No, you can't. No, you can't. The bottom line is this, man. All you're doing is living up to that damn promise you made to Jerry Jones. That's all you're doing. You know what? The bottom line is, I'm going to represent the Cowboys. I'm going to represent Cowboys. That's what you're doing. Because there's nothing but blasphemy coming out of your mouth. Nothing but blasphemy coming out of your mouth.
I got it.
It's ridiculous.
Y'all thought y'all were going to have me here every Monday and get a hammer and come upside my head. You thought the Cowboys were going to give me a butter knife to come into this bazooka fight, right? But they gave me a bazooka, and I'm in this fight with a bazooka because the Cowboys are playing great. That's all we saying right now. Y'all can put that hammer away because I am the hammer, and everybody else will be the nail.
Not this way.
Still to come on First Take. John Gruden's Raiders are the AFC's only remaining undefeated team heading into Monday Night Football. But are they the AFC's best?
You ain't going to make it to the attic.
Now, this right here's something else, too, now.
After dropping their opener to the Steelers, the Bills have rattled off 3 straight victories in impressive fashion over the course of the last 3 games. The Bills have outscored opponents 118-21. A lot of teams looking impressive yesterday. But Stephen A., who is the best team in the AFC? I feel like we've been so focused on the NFC this show.
Well, listen, I'm gonna look at 2 teams. I'm gonna look at the Buffalo Bills. I'm gonna look at the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay. I'm still going to do that. It damn sure ain't gonna be the Raiders. I can tell you that much. I ain't there yet. I said what I said, and I didn't say, well, I'll be at the game tonight. That's why you see them Chargers. You see them sitting there.
That's why you're wearing
You see
this.
them. I'm not gonna wear this tonight. I'm gonna wear white to the football
why
game.
you're
You see
wearing
the
the
Chargers giving me
black
shout
and
outs,
the
right?
silver
You see
and
the
the
Chargers. Listen. Let me tell you something right now. The Chargers want to put the world on notice that they a team in L.A. When the Dallas Cowboys showed up once upon a time, when there been no Chargers fan there. Now it's like a 60-40 split in SoFi. They say 60-40. You'll go with 70-30. Either way you slice it, it's an improvement compared to what it used to be. So they want to make noise and want to show the world that if we win football games, L.A. will support us. Excuse me. You got Cowboy fans, Steelers fans, Packers fans, all these other people. Before you even think about the Chargers or the Rams here in L.A., they trying to change that. We shall see. I'm in the house tonight, the Chargers, the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm coming to the SoFi. Somebody told me SoFi was going to be so fly because they say the Cowboys going to be there. Ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen, okay? But I will tell you that the way Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills are looking right now, I would definitely give them an edge since their opening day snafu against the Steelers. They've been balling, got 2 shutouts on the season thus far this year, even though that ain't saying much considering who they were going up against. And then obviously, I got to look at the Kansas City Chiefs. I can't ignore that. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, and I like the Bills, man. And the Chiefs are always going to be there because Patrick Mahomes is there. And he's a bad boy, even though that defense is giving up a lot right now. But I like what I see with the Raiders.
Oh, please.
I mean, come on, man. Let's be real. Derek Carr, who went into this weekend leading the league in passing yards, Derek Carr is playing lights out football.
Yeah.
This team, I know everybody loves the Kansas City Chiefs, but this team was built in the image and likeness of the Kansas City Chiefs. And they have some of the abilities to do the things that the Kansas City Chiefs do.
Okay.
And with Darren Waller is a bad dude, man. He's, we can put him up there with Travis Kelce. We can put him up there with George Kittle. And now the way they are designing plays, and honestly, Derek Carr really lives on him a little bit too much. The way they're designing plays and getting the plays up the field. Man, I love what the Raiders are doing. Josh Jacobs, he ain't even hit his full stride yet. He's been hurt. When he gets back, Ruggs knocking it off the top, going up top, trying to be the Tyreek Hill for the Raiders. This is an explosive team that can score with you. And I think we'll have a better run game when it totally gets healthy than those teams you're talking about in the AFC. It's just a matter of Derek Carr and Ruggs consistently doing their part. All the pieces are in place because the Raiders to be right there.
Let me tell you something about the Raiders, man. I'm loving the fact that I'm going to go to the game tonight, because I want to see what the Raiders are made of. Let me remind you that the Raiders opened the season against the Baltimore Ravens. Fantastic opening night in Vegas, no doubt about it. The Lions Stadium is spectacular. I'm looking forward to being inside. I've obviously seen it from the outside on several occasions. I'm looking forward to being inside that bad boy tonight. Yeah. But then we have lamented the Pittsburgh Steelers, have we not? The state of affairs going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers, how they're so depleted offensively because of their aging quarterback, because their suspect offensive line puts more pressure on the defense. Keep in mind, when Derek Carr came to Pittsburgh to go up against them, T.J. Watt was out, Highsmith was out. You had about 4 or 5 different dudes with groin injuries. I don't know what the hell that's about, but that's what was happening in Pittsburgh, okay? So that was a problem. All right, that's who Derek Carr and them went up against. And then last week, they go up against the Miami Dolphins, whose offense is putrid, and almost lost that game 31-28, okay? So let me say this to you. I'm looking at Derek Carr. He's completing about 64.7% of his passes, got 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I mean, it's decent. You know what I'm saying? He ain't embarrassing himself. They're pretty good. Yeah. Not great. It's pretty good, okay? So I'm looking at it. I'm like, well, show me what you got tonight against the top 3 passing attack led by Justin Irvin. Show me what you got tonight at SoFi against Keenan Allen and the crew. Show me what you got tonight against a divisional opponent. All right, a divisional opponent in the Los Angeles Chargers.
What's your beef with the Raiders? What is the deal?
Why I got to have a beef? Why can't I? Excuse me. You've been working with me for 5.5 years. I call it like I see it. This is how I feel. I ain't faking it. This is what I believe. All I'm saying is, listen, Ruggs can ball. Waller can ball. We all know that. Okay.
He doesn't believe in the quarterback. That's what it is.
Renfro, I like him. Let's see what they do. Let's see what they do against a quality opponent like the Chargers tonight at SoFi, and then come back and see me. Because I'm predicting they lose this game. Let me be very clear. I'm predicting the Raiders going to lose this game.
Okay.
I'm predicting that.
Guess what? We'll be back here tomorrow, and we'll chat about
That's
it.
right.
And we'll see how things stand.
Okay.
Trust me,
How about
man.
that?
We'll revisit
All right,
it.
let's do that.
All right.
Let's do that.
Okay.
All right, how was
Yeah, you-
congratulations on your Giants,
listen,
by the way. I was so touched. So touched.
Yeah, both New York teams won.
Yeah,
I just want
You
y'all
should
to know-
represent the New York teams. Yeah.
I just want y'all
Daniel
to know.
Dimes looked very good.
All right, whatever.
that everything I've said so far since I've been here, I'm batting 1,000.
Wow.
I don't know, man, but
I don't know
that's
how.
what I do.
I have no recollection of that whatsoever.
Everything I've said.
I have
Yeah,
no-
I
that's
actually
true.
can't think
That's
of
absolutely not true.
when one take has been wrong.
Right, excuse me?
right.
Try to think of one of his takes that has been
come
wrong.
on up. What's up?
Well,
come
first
on
of
up.
all-
Think about it during the
That's
commercial
all I
break.
need
I'll
to do.
give you 4 minutes.
Yeah,
I
gonna
gotta
have
go
some
to
time,
break.
but I
You
just wanna
try
know
to
I'm
think
batting
of
1,000.
one bad take